Your kitchen light is on this late, but so is mine, by ImCreepedOut. I live in a neighborhood in Denmark where the standard of life is high and the price is having your shit together. I'm a night owl, so I find ways to balance my off-schedule life with a corporate job that allows me to live in this very proper of towns. People here dress well, don't smoke, and don't stay up late. At first, I thought they're just having a party, so that is why they're up past midnight. But then I noticed it's happening too often for that. In fact, it seemed like every time I went into the kitchen, their lights would be on. And tonight was no different. Their kitchen light is on. As I started washing some of my dishes and meal prepping for tomorrow, I noticed from the corner of my eye that they seemed to be doing the exact same thing. I guess I'm not as unique as I thought. It's not polite to stare at people in Denmark, so I normally would avoid approaching the window, but after months of seeing their light on, I got curious. And after having a couple of drinks to relax, I was feeling a bit drunk. I had been feeling rather isolated lately, not just from being a night owl in a daytime world. Lockdown made it so I was hardly ever around anybody at all. So I didn't think too much about it as I went up to the window and took a good long look at the place across the yard. Their floor was right across from me. I felt a cold chill of shock run over me as I watched them do the same thing. Coming right up to their window. They seemed to be looking right back at me. This was very uncharacteristic for Danes. My thoughts raced in my head. Maybe the lockdown was getting to them as well. Memories of romantic movies ran through my mind as I felt like maybe this could be the start of a romance. My tipsy brain told me that it would be a great idea to write to them. I paused over the paper for a moment, trying to fight through the brain fog and come up with what to say. Don't be weird. Just keep it simple. Playing it safe, I simply wrote, "Hi," and put the paper up to the window. My heart skipped a beat in excitement when I saw them putting up their own "Hi" sign shortly after. Now I know they've seen me, and what's more, they're just as curious as I am. This started to feel like a bit too much interaction after spending so much time locked down. So I just turned the light off and put my groggy ass to bed. I thought about what happened last night throughout the day. By the time evening came around, I was eager to see if they would be there again, in their kitchen long after everyone else is fast asleep. Maybe we could share another secret moment. I went into the kitchen and I turned the light on, heading straight to the window. Only moments later, their light goes on and I see them going straight to their window as well. It feels like they were ready and waiting to see my light. Maybe they're just as lonely. Also, feeling that need to see someone and be seen in return. I'm so glad I'm not the only one excited and anticipating this strange interaction. I don't even know if that's a man or a woman, how old they are, or what they think this interaction could mean. I just know that this moment, our curiosity is shared, and that is the closest I have felt to someone in a long time. I keep coming to the window every night, but I don't know where things should progress from here, so I wait for them to make a move, and maybe put up another sign. But several nights pass, and they never do. They just show up shortly after me, and leave after I leave. It doesn't seem to be going anywhere, yet it is still a connection that I cherish. My hands fumbled with the keys, dropping them on the floor as I tried to unlock my apartment. The world swayed as I slowly bent down to pick them up. I focused trying to figure out which of the 3 sets of blurry keys I needed. At this point, I could tell that I was pretty drunk. After I was finally able to get inside my apartment, I found myself moving to the window, craving the special connection I have with them. I've been too anxious to be close to people since the lockdown. I felt a thrill every time I got to share this unique and oddly intimate feeling that I could share with someone else, Someone who was close, yet safely distant enough. At this point, I could clearly tell that I had a bit too much to drink. After I was finally able to get inside my apartment, I found myself moving to the window, craving that special connection I have with them. I've been too anxious to be close to people since the lockdown. I felt a thrill every time I got to share this unique and oddly intimate feeling that I could share with someone else. Someone who was close, yet safely distant enough that I could be comfortable being involved with them in a simple way. I don't need to be committed to them in any way. I could just leave and go to bed at any moment if it started to be too much. But at the same time, I don't have to feel so damn alone. Drunkenly, I rushed to the window, not bothering to even take my jacket off. Sure enough, in seconds I saw their light go on. I watched them rush to the window. Their figure seemed a bit off somehow. I'm tipsy, but they seem a bit bigger. I almost laugh aloud when I realize they weren't bigger. They just have a jacket on. Random, but also it's a weekend night, so no surprise. They are often up late, so they could have just gotten back in as well. I feel giddy from just how aligned we seem to be. But the feeling doesn't last. My heart drops as I noticed a weird shadow suddenly soaking up the kitchen light behind them like it's a vacuum. I'm drunk, and I know that, so I close one eye to try and clear my vision and make a sense of what I'm seeing. I'm drunk, and I know that, so I close one eye to try and clear my vision and make sense of what I'm seeing. I feel a sharp sting in my heart as I struggle not to panic. The shadow looks something like a person in the room with them. It's hard to see through my blurred vision. The yellow kitchen light seems to bend and twist around them as the light is swallowed up into their darkness. My eyes turn back to my neighbor. They're still just leaning in the window, looking over at me. They don't seem to register that their light is growing fainter, or the shadow figure behind them getting bigger and more solid every moment. I could see its limbs take shape too long and skinny for its size, bending at the joints in the wrong direction. This thing looked twisted and broken, like a human body that's been bent in every way it's not supposed to be. A head emerges on top of it with no neck, like it's been pushed into a body made of vacuum, fog, and white noise. My mind struggles to make sense of what I was seeing, as my body sobered up faster than I have in my whole life. I knew I didn't imagine something like this out of thin air. I tried shouting, "Look behind you!" They don't seem to hear me. The distance that felt so safe before was now keeping me from helping them. I took the piece of paper I used to say hi and turned it around, writing, "Look behind you," in large black letters. I look up and they're still focused on me, not even seeing what's behind them. So I push the paper towards the glass with both hands, hoping there is still time for them to react. I can't see what's happening. I placed the paper right in front of my face to make sure it gets noticed, but I can't tell if they're able to escape. I don't want to drop it before they read it. My heart beat like a drum, hammering in my chest. I held it for a moment, fighting between the desire to make sure it's seen and wanting to put it down to see what's happening over there. Finally, I take it down with shaking hands. My neighbor is hunched over, writing something down. The shadow is right behind them, towering over them, filling up the room, blocking all the light that was once there. For the first time, the whole building across the yard seems to go completely dark. My heart is beating so fast. My vision is blurred, and I can't understand. What is it that is so important that they need to be writing it down right now? Just turn around. Try to run. Try to fight. My warning doesn't need a reply. They finally put up the paper. I struggle to read it in the flickering light that seems like it's just about to go out. A cold sweat covers my body as I read the words in big black letters. Look behind you.
And now for all the times that I fucked up, or as some people like to call it, the blooper reel.
I guess I'm not as unique as I thought. It's not polite in the store. Their floor was right across from me. My tipsy brain told me that it would be a great idea to write it down. My tipsy brain... Oh, God, what did my tipsy brain do? Okay, I see. That's what my tipsy brain did. My tipsy brain told me that it would be a great idea to write to them. I didn't pass anything. If this was a race, I would have failed the race because I did not go with the line. I passed over the paper. Why was that difficult? By the time evening came around, I was eager to see if they would be at their... That's not what that says. Oh no. My script. It's broken. It feels like they were ready and waiting to see my light. Maybe they're just as lonely. Oh, I fucked up that line. Oh no. Maybe they're just as lonely. Also feeling that need to see someone and be seen in return. The pacing of that line did not go as well as I had hoped, so I'm gonna redo it right now. But I don't know where the things... Oh, I don't know what the next... Yet, it is still a connection that I cherish. But you know what I don't cherish is the way that I read that line, so we're gonna go for another take. Bent down to pick them up. I focused trying to figure out, what I'm supposed to say next, because I couldn't figure that out in time to read it. Here we go again. My hands fumbled with the keys. And my voice fumbled with the lines. I have been too anxious to be close to people since the lockdown. I felt I didn't feel that line. That I could share with... why do I keep fucking this up? I know whose fault it is, but I'll never admit it. That I could share with someone else. Someone who was close, yet safely distant enough that I don't know why this one is hard, but it is. So we're gonna do that one again. Drunkenly, I rushed to the window, not bothering to even take my jacket off. Sure enough, on the second... Wow, that was not what I needed to say. Sure enough, seconds, I fucked up again, missing a word. Random, but also it's a weekend night, so no surprise. They were often up late, so they could have just gotten back on. They are often late. Oh, fuck. My heart drops as I notice a weird shadowy... That doesn't say shadowy at all. Like it's a vacuum. Bend and twist around them as the light is swallowed up in this dark thing. That's not what it said. My eyes turn back to my neighbor. They're still just leaning in the window, looking over at me. They don't seem to know. I had just turn around. Try to run. Try to fight. My warning doesn't need a reply. Just run. Try to run. Oh, God, I'm not doing this well. Just run. They finally put up the paper. I struggle to read it in the flickering light that seems to just... I don't know the line. Oh, here we go again. They finally put the paper... They finally put the paper to... They finally put up the paper. I struggle. Oh, that's the problem. A cold sweat covers my body as I read the words in blig? That's not a word. How can I read it in blig if that's not even a word?